Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Marsh, your moderator, and on behalf of our presenters, logi-Cloud.com and Globe3, I would like to welcome you all to today's webinar entitled Why ERP plus WMS and How Does logi-Cloud Do It? This is the fourth episode of our webinar series. This webinar is designed to provide you insights regarding logi-Cloud's introduction of warehouse-centric SaaS WMS, which includes optimized pick and pack processes for B2B, B2C, and e-commerce. Globe 3 ERP introduction of SaaS business and finance management software suite. How logi-Cloud and Globe 3 enable seamless information and operation flows within whole enterprise and supporting business growth. And of course, the client success stories. So before we begin and introduce our speakers, I would like to go over some housekeeping rules. All participants will be muted and your cameras are being turned off throughout the webinar so the speaker can present without interruption and of course for your privacy. If your connection stops, just log off and log back in and you'll be in the webinar room once again. Anytime you have any questions during the presentation, you may submit via the Q&A function located on the bottom part of your screen. The session will be recorded and sent to registered attendees afterwards, and leave your contact info for a free consultation and stick around for an exclusive offer at the end. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our speakers. Joining us today is Arthur Chen. For the last 20 years, Arthur Chen has focused on IT solutions integrating technology to supply chain management and operations. He is constantly fascinated about how things in life function, as well as how each and every tiny action leads to the bigger picture. His mission is to help small and medium-sized businesses and micro enterprises become professionals in warehouse and logistics operations. And joining Arthur is Vincent Pang. Vincent Pang is the Director of Sales at TNO Systems. Currently, he is working with different technological partners that operate with Globe3 to deliver solution-driven software to end users. His excellent previous work experience as a project consultant for a reputable SME software solution provider and as a project manager for the Ministry of Defense and National Computer Science gave him a keen understanding of users' various needs and the shifting demands of the IT landscape. So Arthur and Vincent, over to you.
Hi, afternoon. Thank you for having me today for this webinar and letting me share about Group 3 ERP. My name is Vincent, and I'm the Director of Sales at TNO Systems. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So we are a local ERP solution provider with an ASEAN footprint, and I hope that today I'll be able to share how WMS and ERP is able to bring about productivity and workflow efficiency in the workplace. Okay. As mentioned, we are TNO Systems. Okay, hang on. Let me get my laser pointer out. Yeah. Okay, TNO Systems. Group 3 ERP is our in-house developed ERP solutions by our Group 3 group of companies since 2011. That's about 11 years of R&D and actual operation usage by our customers. We have 1,000 over companies throughout Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong and Vietnam, and even Hong Kong and China using our ERP solution. They can range from listed companies to mid-sized SMEs. Our headquarters is in Singapore. So we have around 30 plus consultants and programmers, okay, working together to deliver ERP to customers. Our ERP consists of supply chain modules such as stock information, procurement, okay, credit control, sales, and inventory. We are also consists of finance module that is localized and compliant to the various countries that just now I mentioned: Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Hong Kong, and the Chinese tax authorities. We also have optional modules for different trades that's related to service, vehicle, manufacturing, and payroll. So we like to call ourselves as a specialist in the parts distribution that is able to handle 500,000 types of stock information at one go. Okay, we have various features such as stock item inquiry at the group level among different entities to entities, automation of intercompany transaction activities, okay, and various other features related to inventory items. Okay, we're also competent in project planning and project budget planning, management, ensuring from project lifecycle from tender BQ to execution to procurement. Okay, all this is to ensure profitability and automation of approvals within the project framework. Okay. So lastly, the system is also able to perform material planning from finished goods. Okay, we are able to do BOM. Okay, yep. Okay, to complex computation of raw material planning through material planning process, to automation of purchase order. Okay, and of course, approval automation. Okay. So this slide sums up the features of Globe 3 ERP, and it's a very simple to understand interface, which I will cover later during as part of my demonstration. Okay, we also have a mobile app for iOS and for Android. Okay, the app is used for approvals and for simple transactions to be performed in the system. Okay, so okay, with this, I will now switch to Globe 3 ERP. Okay. So the solution is web-based. So with a key in of the URL, okay, you can actually use our AWS cloud hosting services, or you can host it in your own server. Okay, with this, you will be provided with a company ID and username password to access to the solution itself. Okay, with this, you're able to log in. So once you're logged into the system itself, okay, you're able to see okay the entity that you are authorized okay to access. Okay, you can have multiple entities in one system, so you can switch within the system without changing the logging out of the system. Okay, you can also have unlimited financial year in the Globe 3 ERP. Okay, our system is the first of its kind to actually do dual language. So the system is able to toggle between having English and Chinese at one go. Okay, other than of course, the standard, which is having the whole interface to be of a different language, it is also possible as well. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'll just do it in English. Okay, depending on your access rights, and of course, for each different companies and project, you'll be accessing, they'll be able to view different functions in the system. Okay, so these are all already available in the system. Okay, which later I will demonstrate in the system the various features. Okay, so for the ERP itself, there's already standard dashboards that we'll be having. Okay, so one of them is the group dashboard, which the management can view right out of the box, okay, between entity to entity. Okay, so for this example, is Singapore and Malaysia. Okay, they can see the immediate revenue. Okay, from here I can do drill-ins. That's the benefit of being a web-based system. Things are all drill-in and interrelated. Okay, so this is the company dashboard. Okay, I can also view it from here, the management console. Yeah. Okay, so being an ERP, we have finance data, sales data, and even procurement data. So I can immediately see what's the sales revenue, what's the cash balance. Okay, quick ratio, top 10 projects, because it might be project related for the company. Okay, top 10 customers, top 10 vendors, selling items by org structure. And all these beautiful charts that we have are all out of the box, ready for you to use. Okay. There are also other sales chart lists that we can be used. Okay, So all the finance people or the management people will need to do just do a simple snip, and then they can put it into their reports. Okay. With this, we can drill into other information such as customer information. So this is an example of a customer information that we can have as a management console information, which also is a clickable feature. Okay, so with here, we can do some simple analysis. How's the first sales and the recent sales? What's the average payment date? Okay, any of the sales order outstanding, any of the AR outstanding. Okay, any other information that's related to this information or can be related here as well, or the sales summary by different period, top 10 selling items. Okay, personnel. So customer there definitely have some personnel that we need to talk to. This can be updated in the system. Okay, all the other information related to this customer all will be relayed into here, which is also configurable at your end by the IT administrator or by our consultants when we deliver the solution to you. Okay. So this is customer information. There also can be vendor information so that your procurement team can actually have a close relation with your vendors. Okay, so purchase summary information. Okay, everything related to the procurement, purchase price list. Okay, for this item, what is the fluctuation? Okay, as you can see, all this is able to be drilled in to view for the particular document because they are all related. Okay, and they're all housed in the same system, Group 3 ERP. Okay, so that's for the vendor information. I would like to also showcase the stock item inquiry that can be used by the inventory people or can be by the procurement or even can be by the sales. Okay, with a simple search feature. Okay, that we have can be by stock code or stock description. Okay, can see what's the unit price, quantity on hand. Those are on sales order, those on procurement order. Quantity in a different location. Okay, simple photos that's related to this stock item, stock information. Everything again from all the different processes related to this stock item. So I'd like to showcase how our system is user friendly. So over here, let's say I'm a sales manager. I would like to immediately create a sales quotation with this item in place. Okay, I can just click add to cart. Okay, with customer's confirmation over the phone, maybe he wants 5 items. I click save. So if you click a button, it brings me to sales quotation. These are all my customers' information. Okay, I just choose the customer that just now made the phone call to me. As you can see here, there is the 1 item in shopping cart. So click next, and immediately brings me to the process of sales quotation. Okay, along with all the pre-populated information about this customer. Okay, I can change the address if I need to. I can change the information if I want to as well. Okay, maybe not this number I want to put for this sales quotation. Okay, so as you can see, this is the stock item that is to be listed here. Okay, we also can control the markup pricing. So other than just now that simple explanation of the user interface, user friendliness, I also can do population of the sales quotation rather quickly. So using the just same similar example, I just key in stock code or stock description. Immediately it shows me the list along with the minimum order quantity and the quantity on hand. Okay, so I just click a number of them and it pre-populates into my sales quotation. I can hover over, and from here I can immediately see my transaction history to this customer in particular. So maybe just for curiosity's sake, I would just like to see for other customers. Yes, it's possible. So I can see what was the unit price that I've quoted before. Okay, what was the discount? Okay, and what was the date? I can also drill in from here to actually see the sales quotation as well. Okay, from here I have made an analysis. I've decided, yes, let me update the figure. Okay, as required. Then I can sign it for approval, or I can just save it and draft in the system. So all the sales quotation that is created, there is backend logic tied to it. you can immediately from here in the listing of all the sales quotation that are created, you can immediately see who's the sales executive. Okay. There's also automation of the quotation number. See, quotation number is all automated already. Okay, and in this list itself, you can immediately see what is the quick view of what is it. Okay, and those that are pending is reflected here. Those that are in draft mode are reflected here as well. So I can just do a simple click here, and this is actually a preview of the sales quotation print form format that you can actually send to your customers. It can be in PDF format, or it can be printed out hard copy for them to review. Yeah. So again, this sales quotation format is not fixed in stone. Okay, we will, as part of the project scope, we will actually customize it for your company unique process. So over here, this sales quotation, with this example here, they have it embedded with a photo. Yeah. So of course, standard summary and also financial history and dashboards figures are all related here. Okay, as is a ERP solution, okay, all the processes are already set in the system already. But nonetheless, okay, it is not fixed in stone. Okay, it is configurable. So our consultants, as part of the project implementation, would sit down with your team members, key team members, of course, to actually understand the process, and then we would actually do the tweaking and configuration of the ERP system for you. So now I would like to highlight that because it's from process to process, okay, there's some simplification of entry of the data. So rather than keying in the sales order again, okay, we can actually pull this data from the previous process, which is the sales quotation. Okay, I can just choose a customer, click next. Okay, these are all the sales quotation that was not closed yet, from sales quotation to sales order. Okay, I can just choose one of them, click next. And the sales order is already pre-populated. So there's no need for me to key in one more time. So all I need to do is just do changes from here, which is of course definitely much simpler than keying in from scratch. So this will actually automate things for you. Okay, again for sales order, okay, this is it's quite a similar looking listing. Okay, we also can do search feature. So as with ERP process, okay, ERP process will actually help you keep track of processes, whether have they been moving from a process to another process. Okay, so for this example over here, we have actually this example we have actually have it from a sales quotation all the way down to back receipt. So that's the benefit of having an ERP solution rather than just an accounting solution, because accounting solution would just provide only accounting information, while ERP is more all-encompassing. We have different functions all built into place already, and all you need to do is just follow the process. So anybody who is new to the company, who's just on board, okay, it's much easier for them to just follow the process that is already put in place. Okay. So again, that was the sales order. So I'd like to touch a bit about the inventory portion, because today we have our partner logi-Cloud. So for delivery order, okay, that is derived from the sales order, okay, it can also be put into here. And this is the part where you can consolidate multiple delivery orders for the same party, of course. It can be created. And once it's created, okay, it will combine all the multiple sales order into one delivery order. As you can see over here just now, my sales order, sales quotation all have unit pricing, but for delivery purposes, there's no need to put dollar value. So you just have a very simplified quantity figure. It can be partial, okay, which again, the system will track for you, okay, and then you can save it and store it, and it will be interfaced over to logi-Cloud for them to do tracking of the inventory activities and the stock count. So like I mentioned earlier, there's, okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there is, okay, the print form, okay, and there is some form of analysis. I mentioned that the process, okay, there's another view of the order tracking. Okay, we also have what we call the item tracking. So items that are delivered partially, system will keep track for you. Okay, and again, you can actually see the document number of how it was being delivered. Okay, so everybody can be on the same page to understand each other's scope of work and what's the progress like. So rather than asking around, say, hey, had the delivery been made and stuff. So it's all built in the system and everybody can see it from there. Okay, so this is the delivery order. As you can see, these are different status, the picking, packing, and shipping, which the WMS would be able to interface such information over back to the ERP to do a common understanding of the solution. Okay, so okay, due to this webinar session, I will just focus more on the supply chain part of it. So the sales and the inventory, it's just not what I demonstrated. Next, I'll highlight a bit on the financing part of it. So our system is able to produce financial reports that is compliant to each country, be it Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, or Hong Kong. So for this example over here, you can do income statement. Again, all these figures are actually extracted throughout the system through different document number. So for this example over here, okay, I can drill in and I can see that these figures are actually from my tax invoice, and of course, GST is also being factored in as well. So my system is able to handle GST compliance. So example of the income statement, I can also do balance sheet. Okay, I can also do trial balance. Okay, because sales invoice is in the system itself. Okay, we are also able to do AR reports. Okay, for each customer, I can also do AR AP aging, comparing those that I've sold and those I need to pay. Okay, to come with these values. Some can be using days, some can be using months. Okay, each report that we have in the system is thousands of them. Okay, we will also be able to export to Excel. So you see there's Excel button over here. You just click on it. It is generated as a Excel report, which you can be used for further manipulation purposes. Our system is multiple currency can be built in the system. So if you have different tradings in USD or in Singapore dollars, yeah, you can also handle it in the solution as well. Okay, so I'd like to touch on the bank payment and bank process. So the system is also compliant to the local banks. So other than creating the bank payment to pay out to your vendors, okay, you can also create out a bank file, which you can then upload to the various bank website. Okay, yeah, so there's a bank file. Yeah, that is related to the different banks that's listed over here. Okay, typical DBS, UOB, OCBC. Yeah, they will have some documented bank file format which is already compliant in the system already. Yeah, so I would like to showcase also the local taxation reports. Okay. Okay, one of them being GST Form 5 for those who are dealing with Singapore taxation. GST Form 5 is it's very commonly used by your accounts. Okay, we also have Vietnam taxation. We also have Malaysia SST taxation reports as well. So all these various reports are already built in the system already. Okay, so for more detailed demonstration on the manufacturing and the project accounting, unfortunately, I won't be able to cover today. You can do so by leaving a contact in the Q&A, and the admin will reach out to me, and so that we can arrange something else after this. So with this, I'll hand over now to my WMS partner. Okay. Oh yes, before I conclude, sorry. Yeah, I'd like to highlight also that sorry. Yeah, our success story. Yes, correct. Before I hand over, so so for this success story case, okay, we actually have a food distribution business doing importing and exporting of importing and exporting of frozen food products. So so the pain point, okay, was that the existing system that they have, which was mostly APAC and the in-house solution, wasn't keeping track of the food products and the expiry date. So then they have 3 companies all doing the same functions. So so they definitely need an integrated system in place to actually handle all these various functions happening at the same time. And because it's an ERP, okay, is a modular approach in implementing throughout the company. So they took up our accounting system first, then supply chain, then the WMS, and then HR system eventually in place. So yeah, so that's how we get to know logi-Cloud from this project itself. So yes, okay. So with that, that's my sharing for our success story. Thank you. Take it away, Arthur.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vincent. Yeah, actually, it's our honor to have Vincent with us in this webinar. And as Vincent explained, the Go3 is one of successful ERP system based in Singapore. And it's also our honor to have a business case with Go3 for some successful cases. So in next, I will share my screen to explain about the okay. 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 So back to logical part. I think some of the audience here already know us because this is our the fourth webinar in this year. We have explained in previous episodes about what is logical, what's the benefits, and what's the functionality. So now we come to another very typical real life scenario. A lot of companies, trading, manufacturing, or retailers, the first things they will use is digitalize in the digitalization journey. The first thing they will do is use ERP system. So the ERP will well organize everything in the company, especially at the workflow between different departments and roles. So usually when we talk about business, like e-commerce or retail, everything, so we will think about the profit margin, right? So usually we look at it like okay, we will have goods costs, we will have some costs come from the IT and facilities of the whole operations, and also there will be some fulfillment operation costs to fulfill the order, the physical items to the end users. Then it's done, the business is done, and what's left will be the profit margin, right? Very simple. But actually, in quite a lot of cases, we have seen the fulfillment operation cost is actually higher than what people think upfront. So that it's actually jeopardize your profit margin and also the return of the investment. And why there are costs from operations? It could be kind of like it's come from the extra HR and labor costs, which is unexpectedly higher than you think. And also to ensure the delivery could be well delivered and accurate, you got to have some quality checkpoints that will be cost. And then you need to fix the error or some exceptional cases. You need to handle that. That will be extra costs. And also one other thing is the data processing. In real life, a lot of operations in business companies spend on data processing, like data entry, like getting the information. All this is could be quite costly if it's not handled well. So this is the reality, the situation we have seen so far. So to think about a general business, when we do a selling, you will have the orders, let's say 50 orders or 200 orders. You need to send the goods to your end customers, whether it's B2B or B2C. So from the data and information layers, you need to have a store on hand information, right? That will be your availability. You need to keep track of the order status. You need to keep track of the delivery status. All this data comes from the physical handling. So below this layer, you will have physical handling anyway. So that means you have somebody to do the stock into the warehouse. They need to handle the inventory. They need to get orders and do the pick and pack, and then book the courier or the carriers, and then hand over the last mile. So all this is done physically. But how does these actions could effectively become your data? in very simple way or very traditional way, people do data entry. So that is adding the cost on top of the physical handling, is adding the cost to make the physical actions into data and put the data into your data and information layers, which could be the ERP or other things. So this is why some costs hide behind all this, and which is unexpected when you do the business ROI calculation. So let's have a quick dive into the warehouse to see how this cost comes from. Let's say we are in a warehouse, we need to handle 300 B2C orders. Let's see what will happen. So first thing is the warehouse need to get orders, and they need to transfer these orders into picking lists. So that the picker can start to do the pick. So think about if this is your warehouses, what will be the lead time when you have an order and picking can start? So 1 hour, 2 hour, and what's the cost to get the order into a instruction of picking? So this is the first place. First place is the cost kicking in. It's in terms of time, in terms of cost to get the data. And then next things when we talk about fulfillment efficiency is picking. So let's say you have 3 or 1,000 bin locations, and by system records, you will know which location have what kind of SKU. So the picker can go there to get. So how fast the picker can go to the right bin locations and pick the right SKU. And if let's say in the warehouse you have for one run trip picking an order is 5 minutes. If we are going to pick 300 orders, that will be 25 hours. And beside that, how can you be ensure all the general rules like the first in, first out rules or first expiry, first out rules will be followed and enforced in daily operations? This is important for trading because the storage is cost. Expired item will become immediate a wastage of your money. So that's why keep the warehouse run in, first out or first expiry, first out is important. But what cost you are paying for to ensure that in your warehouse nowadays? So that's another cost comes from. Then we look at the packing. Physically, we put the SKU into the boxes one by one, and then we measure the dimension, we weight the box, and we put it down somewhere so that we can generate packing lists, right? And then we write some numbers on the box so that people can recognize and take the right box. So it's spending like or more than 2 minutes to pack one box. So if talking about 300 orders, it will be 12.5 hours of work. And also talking about booking a couriers, you need to write something, you need to make a call, or you need to go to couriers portal to upload all data informations. This is all costing of your time and also your human resources. And then in fulfillment, there's other important things besides efficiency is accuracy. So all the end users, end customers nowadays are spoiled by the well-provided, well-served customer satisfaction levels. So just think like ourselves when we receive orders. Like say we order on the online shop, and then we got an e-commerce order delivered to our door. We open the box. If it's the right SKU, we will not have any surprise. It's supposed to be right? If you open the box, what's inside is wrong. It's not what you ordered. You immediately it's jeopardize your loyalty and return buying willingness to the same brand. It's all if you may talk to your friends or your neighbors about this bad experience, even it just happened once, but you still talk about that. It's jeopardize, it's harming the reputation of the brand. And also the brand, most of brands will offer you free returns, and then we fulfill the right items for you after your complaint. And the brand owners or the e-commerce merchants, they still need to some additional cost to do the error investigation. So not change the role. If we are the merchant or retail companies, we definitely we don't want wrong delivery happens. But that's why the accuracy is important, is so important in fulfillment. And how we can keep everything accurate? Let's think about pickers in your warehouses. Let's take this example. Here are two SKU number with barcode. Are they the same? If you look at it very carefully, you can find a difference, right? But when look at it carefully, it costs you more than 5 seconds. That means if you need to pick 600 order lines out of 300 orders, that is talking about a huge number of time. And if you make a mistake, even the accuracy, you can keep it like a 99.7 accuracies, you are still talking about making 10 mistakes every week. That's completely unacceptable. So there's other places you can easily make a mistake in physical handling. At the second example, can you tell if these two orders are the same? Let's say you are the packer, you pack the SKU to the orders and you put the packing list or the labels to the box. You can make a mistake if you just do it by bare eyes. But if you check it very carefully to make sure your performance is well, then it spends your time and effort. So this is why in the physical handling world, it's not easy to make things accurate. So like in order overview of the whole order fulfillment, if we take a detailed look at the physical handling, it's all talking about time, different time spending on different checkpoints. And lastly, you need to input the data still, right? When you have completed orders, you need to tell the system the order is completed. That's what we call the data entry. You need to update the inventory data so that in next time you know how many are available and where is their locations. So all this data entry work actually in a warehouse without a proper system, it's already taken more than 30% of working hours. So for warehouses, only 70% of the people resources is spending on the physical handling, and the rest of 30% spending on the data entry to tell the system what they have done. And not mention that if you want to ensure fulfillment accuracy up to 99.97%, or you want to maintain a correct inventory warehouse status, what's the cost behind to enable this or to ensure this? So all this is the hidden cost I just mentioned. It could be out of your expectations. So that's why how a logi-Cloud comes in. logi-Cloud will help you to take care of the physical handling in the warehouse. Here I have a very short video to show you that it's an e-commerce fulfillment path. I will try to fast forward it to make the time a little bit short. So the first part we are talking about making connectors to the marketplaces or to the order source. In this example, it's a Shopify. Of course, the ERP will be, if you have ERP, that will be a very good source of ordering. So once you build a set of connectors, you set some rules and put the parameter in and save it, it will automatically become a connector in logi-Cloud. It will help you to get orders from time to time when there's an order ready. And also in logi-Cloud, you can set up the courier rules so that you can, the system can help you to automatically select the right courier once order is ready. So here's how it works when everything starts. So let's say it's an e-shop. So somebody in your e-shop buy the items. Here in this example, it's a Shopify e-shops. So if someone buy the items in your e-shops, it will become an orders. Just the same like your orders in your ERP. Once it's confirmed, You don't need to pass it manually for the warehouse to operate. The logical connector will get order automatically. And it will become one of the orders pending in the warehouse for the workers to manage. And in the warehouses, the supervisor could have multiple ways in logi-Cloud to manage how the pick and pack could happen. So here, let me fast forward a little bit. So in this screen, the order is assigned to warehouse and the courier's ladder automatically. Then in the warehouses, the supervisor can decide whether I want to pick order by orders, or I can use other advanced picking method like a wave picking. So here the supervisor is creating a picking wave so that the supervisor can group a bunch of orders together and do the picking in one shot. That's one of the best practice in the warehousing industry. That's especially effective and efficient for B2C order or small orders. So now here we are grouping 12 orders together and release it in one shot. So once you confirmed and the supervisor can select to release it for works, then the operators can start the work immediately. So they log in the apps, they start do the picking. So the system will automatically give them instruction. So once you select the picking wave, when you start, the system will tell you, okay, where are you? So you scan the first location, the system will start telling you where to go and what SKU to pick. And you just need to confirm these actions by scanning at the barcode. If the SKU is wrong, you pick the wrong SKU, you will be stopped immediately. So basically, as a picker, you can feel very confident about what you pick is correct. Because the barcode verification is immediately telling you if it's correct or it's wrong. If it's correct, you will see the next screen for next step and next procedures. And your warehouse supervisors or warehouse manager will feel confident on your work as well, because you can barely make a mistake. So the procedures repeated and repeated, but in reality, actually, we picked 5 orders in this batch already. So what's the picker take is for 5 orders. So right here, the system is giving a procedure guidance as allocate the SKU back to the right orders. We call this order sorting. And during order sorting, you need to scan the SKU and order to match again, so that the system can help to make sure the right SKU is put to the right box of orders. So 5 orders done. Then for the packers, they just scan it and tell the system, okay, this is a box. If the picker really make mistake, the packer will find it out again, because the packer have a barcode scanning. When they do the scanning, the system will match with the orders and then wait it, input the carton size, and the label, the courier label will be printed out immediately. Because when you do the picking, the logi-Cloud is helping you to book the courier automatically and already. So once the box is done, you can print out the waybill label right away, immediately. So you stick to the box, then it's done. You can wait for handover to the courier. And at the same time, once you has hand out the items to the couriers, then everything will be updated immediately. The inventory data, the order data, and these triggers will be sent out all the way back to the order source. And like if you are using ERP like a GoFleet, your order fulfillment status will be updated immediately and automatically. And inventory changes will also be updated immediately and uh, uh, very quickly and at real time. Okay. So this is why even an enterprise have a very decent ERP to manage everything, to organize everything. This is why you will see a lot of enterprises still want to use WMS, because the WMS help you to handle the physical handling, to handle things out of the computers, to help you to handle the warehouse working efficient and very highly accurate way. This is also where logi-Cloud kicks in and can bring the value to you. So the video just showed you is about 7 minutes. It's actually equal to the working length of 5 orders. So if doing a simple math in this way, 300 orders, that we'll be talking about 420 minutes, which is talking about 7 hours. So with logi-Cloud, you can cut 40 hours work to 5 hours. And beside that, all the data update will be done. You don't see anybody writing anything or doing any data entry in the keyboards. In the whole process, it's all about physical handling, and everything will be updated immediately, including your ERP data. And all the reports will
Arthur?
be generated. Yep, please.
Sorry, you're cutting in and out.
Okay, sorry. Where I lost. Okay, so sorry about that.
I think, yeah, that
Yeah.
slide.
Anyway, yeah. This is quick. Actually, just a summarize of what you have seen from the video. Logical is helping you to do the physical handling very efficiently. It's can eliminate all the data entry work, and all the data update work will be done by real time and automatically. So if we do a simple maths, the video is about 7 minutes, but within these 7 minutes, we have handled 5 orders already. So if we have 300 orders to manage, that's working this way, it will be 420 minutes, which is equal to 7 hours only. So it's talking about we cut the 40 hours of work to 7 hours. And not mention that the data updates works is done. So nobody need to do the data entries. All the reporting data is automatically collected and ready for reports. And the updates in the ERP in your sales or procurement will be automatic as well. So this is what's logical could bring to the warehouse. Firstly, we have data automations. That means the data capture will be automated. At the same time, the instruction will be sent to the operator right away. The best practice and SOP enforcement is within the system already, so you don't need to care about if people are doing right or wrong in the shop floors. The information is very convenient and efficient because you don't need to, even you don't need to do any data entry, but you still get data out from your operations. And the data is connectable, and the whole system is connectable to your ERP, to your order sourcing, or share for your back offices, and it's supportive for your ERP. So this is when you use logi-Cloud with ERP like a GoFleet, you will further enjoy these benefits from your warehouse. So if when you start using logi-Cloud, probably you will see it will bring some benefits for your enterprise at different teams. For the warehouses people, definitely they will be more relieved and without more worries. And they could be more productive because there's no more data entry. They can focus on physical handling. They can spend 99.9% of time and efforts on just physical handling. And when you seem like what Vincent explained, when you have a system and the SOP is there, the workflow is well defined. When you have a new staff join the companies, you don't need to spend a long learning time or training course to enable them to work properly in the environment. Same like warehouse. With logi-Cloud, everything, all the SOP and best practice is enforced. That means the newcomers can almost like start work in 1 hours. They don't need to have a long learning time. You don't need to monitor and supervising them for the whole weeks before you can feel comfortable to let them to work by them alone. And for the business side, for the back office, the first thing you will see is no more customer complaint, because what you send out in your warehouse will be nearly 100% accurate. And you can have all the inventory data or the operation data on your fingertips, even you are not sitting with the warehouse. Because logi-Cloud is a web-based application, you can log in it in any browsers. That means your back office and warehouse could be at totally two different locations, but you still knowing what is happening in the warehouse. And the data is real time, just like you were in the warehouse. And also, because the logi-Cloud will update all the data at the right timing back to ERP. That means what you see, especially the inventory data in your ERP, is more accurate than before. And it could be more comprehensive, like if you need to keep track the expiry dates of your items. Once the warehouse people capture that, it will be reflected in your ERP data, inventory data as well. So all this is supporting the back office people to work more efficiently and more confidently. So for IT people, it's SaaS, it's a cloud software, it's SaaS software. That means your internal IT team don't need to spend a lot of effort to maintain the system to make it run smoothly or to make it run securely. So the IT resources could be relieved from daily support work. And the implementation will be, or deployment will be very easy and quick. For example, when you have a new mobile computer you want to use in the warehouse, probably just download the APK and scan the QR code, then you can log in to start to use. That's very easy, and it's helped the IT specialist to reduce their workload quite a lot. And because it's SaaS solution, so we pre-build everything, including the integrations. So because there will be a very well developed foundations for integration already there. So compared to traditional system-to-system integrations, probably we can save like 60% of cost, because a lot of things is already there. And lead time will be saved like even 90%, because everything is pre-built, nearly done. What we need to do is just define the process, select the right process, and select the right mapping, and probably the integration is done. So it helps as your IT specialist to help them to be confident and to be more assured about the system integration. So the whole implementation of logi-Cloud, we just talk a lot about logi-Cloud alone. Our benchmark is 5 days. So actually the environment for our new customers in logi-Cloud is just could be get ready in 2 hours. And the rest of the 4.5 days is all talking about the knowledge transfer, training, and assist your warehouse people to set up the data into logi-Cloud, into your environment. So on the 6th day, just do a visual static or import the inventory to the logi-Cloud WMS, then it's done. You can start the work immediately in a paperless and real-time mode. So for the boss, for the management of the company, probably they will think it is in different ways. Maybe they will ask if I have already invested on a very decent ERP. The ERP is taking care of all the purchasing, sales, inventory costs, HRM, CRM, accounting, finance. Everything's there. Why I still need to include WMS? Just like I explained before, your ERP could be your brain. You can have a very nice, very smart, and very fast brain, but you still need the muscle to ensure things could happen. You still need muscle. So think about logical as the muscle, and Growth is ERP is the brain. So when you have a fast brain, probably you need a very good and right muscles to execute that. So when logical kick in, you will find immediate additional savings and additional benefits and values in the whole solutions. You can take it as a last parcel of the whole enterprise because logical helps you to complete the parcel for the physical fulfillment. So probably you will see the saving of the HR costs from the productivity gains or the lower training costs. You will see your operation cost drops down because your people, your team don't need to spend time on collect data and collect information. You will see the warehouse supervisor and manager spend less time on checking every operators and or setting up different checkpoints to ensure people is working right. And your business will be more and better supported because you can now be 100% ensure of the accuracy and so that your warehouse could respond to sales more quickly. This is the whole idea of the integration between an integrated WMS and ERP integrated solution. This is the whole idea and the benefits could come from that. And lastly, for decision maker, if you worry about the cost or investments, when you invest in SaaS solutions, it's actually no risk or very, very low risk because it's adjustable and it's OpEx. You can just select which modules you need and the price will be there at day one. So there's no any hidden cost. What you will get, there will be a price chart for you. And once you select what you need, that will be a monthly budget. That will be what we will be spending, exactly spending. There's no hidden cost, there's no additional cost. And the cost could match, you can use this cost or budget to match your business scale or business growth. So that's probably there could be a lot of to explain, and also there will be if you drill down into details like how the orders from Go3 can become the executable picking in the warehouse. Could be a lot of things to explain and to show. So probably if you are interested in these solutions, you just contact us whether Go3 or contact logi-Cloud. We can present you a demonstration. We can explain in more detail about how the solution works for you. And so this time is our fourth episode, and we will have last episode in October, which is talking about how advance the options in the warehouse for more effective or higher values. Oh, okay. So please stay tuned about the exact dates of the episode 5. And right now, because logi-Cloud is actually, honestly, is new to Singapore markets, so that's why now we have a 12-month free subscription-free package for Singapore business entities. So you just remember, ask for this promotion code when you do the inquiry, and then we will have just special offers to the first 10 prospects. So if you have any question, remember to check at logi-Cloud websites, check our WhatsApp chat, or just call us or email us. And that's all of my part. So in next, we move to Q&A, right, Marsh?
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Vincent and Arthur, for running the discussions. And I hope that our attendees have gained a lot of insights from what you have just discussed. So before we proceed to the Q&A, I would like to thank our audience for sending in their questions. And by the way, if we don't get your questions today, we'll definitely follow up afterwards through an email. So now let's move on to the question and answer portion. And for our first question, how will the system keep track of the stock count balances? I think this is for Vincent.
So during my demonstration, I think I was moving a little bit fast. So in our system itself, we do have inventory solution inside the system. So without any WMS partners like logi-Cloud in place, we can do simple stock count method, which is the really paper and pen. They go and count, and then they can do stock take. That's one. Then the other stock count methods, okay, would actually be the physical transactions such as delivery order, delivery, goods receiving. Um, there's also features that is already built in the Group 3 ERP, such as adjustments. Uh, it's not really a silver bullet to get the figures correct for the inventory, but it's one of the methods that we have to actually make sure that the actual physical count in the warehouse and the actual and the physical count that is in the Group 3 ERP is actually consistently the same. So to a certain extent,
Yes.
yeah. Mm.
Yes, on top of Vincent's, I would like to add a few answers on to that as well. Because when you do the store counting, you need to go to touch the physical items. So if you have WMS and like Goofy and Logical in the same places, the best idea will be use Logical to do the store counting. It will be based on the barcode scanning on the physical items. Once you get the counting done, you will see the result in Go3 as well. So you think about it's like a twin brothers helping you. One help you handle the physical things and pass the result to the second to Go3, and Go3 will help you to manage the discrepancy and also the cost adjustment behind that. So that will be the best idea for when you have two things together. And also I saw there's another question about the similar thing like when you do the stock counting, how about the real-time stock movement? Will it be could do that together? And that's what we call the cycle counting. I think what you mentioned is cycle counting. So when we do the stock take, the physical stock take, the whole warehouse need to stop. All the in and out need to stop. But that will happen like half a year or just once a year. But when you have a cycle counting practice in your warehouses, you can do the counting of a particular range of bin locations or particular SKUs in the warehouses without interruption of the real-time picking, receiving, or other things. That's also part of the logical functions. And the result, again, will be synchronized back to Go3 ERP, and you will see the discrepancy reports from there, and you can decide what's the follow-up actions from there.
Yep. So further add on, other than reflecting the discrepancy, the Group 3 ERP will actually also do the accounting entries for you for the discrepancy. Yeah. So all this will all be kind of like all seamless to the warehouse administrators. Yep. Okay. So maybe next question.
Okay, thank you so much, Vincent and Arthur. So for the next question, will it be able to handle stock count balances together when the stock movement also occur in real time from the retail sales?
I think this one I just answered by the last part.
No problem. But for the Group 3 ERP, for retail sales activities, right, it's a little bit different from the sales quotation, sales order process, because the retail sales is actually issuing of a sales invoice directly. So on the Group 3 ERP, we have worked with a toy distributor. They also have a retail sales. You can do walk in to buy the toys. So what they do for the stock count, very interestingly, is that they do it on a nightly basis. So they did it very quickly, and based on whatever that is being done in the retail sales, they will actually tally the figures against the real count, and then to tie back the figures. So not only they're doing on a half a year basis for the count, they're actually doing on a nightly basis. So that was a very interesting project. Yeah, for that toy distributor. Yeah, because they also have a retail arm, so they actually able to do that. But that is also cost based on manpower lah. So which is one of the constraints that recently they will be having.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's happened to the retail stores.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. It's very common. Retail stores not only to actual direct sales, it can also be consignment purposes. Yeah,
true.
so that's for that case, which is quite unique.
All right, thank you. So now let's proceed to the next question. And I think this is the last question for today. So we have own in-house warehouse and also use 3PL's warehouse service at the same time. How logi-Cloud plus Globe 3 solution could fit for us?
Arthur, you want to?
Maybe. Okay, let me try to answer this.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
will be another very good scenario for the solution when you have Grow3 and Logical together. Just like I mentioned before in PowerPoint, as you can see, the back office or the headquarters you will have different teams sitting in the headquarters, like the finance team, sales team, procurement teams. They can keep use Grow3 because all the function they need is there. But at the same time, you will have physical operations in your own warehouses and also 3PL's warehouses for you. So that means your inventory is divided into two different physical locations, and your orders will send to two different locations, and you will get a result from two different places. So you can use logi-Cloud to implement it to your warehouses, and also you can share the logi-Cloud login to your 3PL people. By setting the access rights, they can manage their parts only. They cannot touch other warehouses. So there's access right controls well defined in logi-Cloud to enable this kind of setting. So when you run this way, that means your ERP data, the data in the Grow3, whether it's inventory data or the sales fulfillment data, they will come from the same SOP. Although it's two different warehouses, two different teams, but the SOP will be the same. The operation procedure will be the same. The productivity and the accuracy will be nearly the same. So this helps you to cost manage multiple locations and multiple warehouses, whether it's your own warehouses or it's outsourced warehouses. Yeah, I hope this answered the question. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Arthur and Vincent, for an insightful Q&A session. And I hope everything is clear now to our audience. And for our exclusive offer, again, this was discussed already by Arthur. So the first 10 who will contact us via WhatsApp will get a 12-month free subscription exclusive for Singapore business entities only. You may scan the QR code or call the WhatsApp number that is flashed on the screen. So you may use promo code 2022SG when inquiring. And to know more about the solution package options for Globe 3, you may scan the QR code that is now showing on the screen. So this concludes the 4th episode of our webinar series. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your time with us. Once again, this is Marsh. Hope to have you at our next webinar event, which is next week, Thursday. And have a pleasant day ahead. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.